Hey guys, Ricky here from MVP Sports here to give you my draft grades from 2014 for the Brooklyn Nets. And before I get into the video, just want to put out a little disclaimer. This grade is for what happened on draft night. Anything that happened after does not influence the grade. It's just what happened on draft night. And with the Brooklyn Nets, this was a difficult one to grade because coming into the night, the Nets had 0 picks. But they make trades with the Timberwolves, the Raptors, and the 76ers that net them second round picks for Markel Brown out of Oklahoma State, Xavier Thames out of San Diego State, and Corey Jefferson out of Baylor. And you're sitting there right now thinking, okay, the Nets did get some good players. For me, I really like Markel Brown, mostly because he's an athletic defender and he played with one of the better point guards in this 2014 NBA draft in Marcus Smart. So I feel like Markel Brown can step in and be a starting two guard for the Brooklyn Nets if Livingston decides to leave. Because right now there are rumors that Sean Livingston might leave the Nets, go over to Golden State all the way across country, and that leaves a hole for the Nets. They got it with Markel Brown without even knowing that they're really going to have that hole. With Xavier Thames, how I see it is he's going to be a quality backup for Darren Williams. That's going to remain to be seen. He's going to be the backups to Williams nonetheless because with Thames, he's a shooter, and like I said, he's going to back up Darren Williams. With Corey Jefferson, he's got an NBA body, question mark. He needs to bulk up a little bit. He's going to be coming off the bench. He might be a let's just put him on the bench, have him develop on our team, whereas Thames and Brown can help out the Nets somewhat right now. And like I said, this was a hard one to grade. I was sitting there and I'm weighing the options. I'm like, I can either give him a C or I can give him a D. And when I weighed my options, when it's all said and done, I'm giving the Brooklyn Nets a D plus for the NBA draft. And here's why. Because the Nets, they sent if they would have had their number one pick, they would have been sitting at 17th overall. They sent that pick to Boston in the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade. At 17, they could have gotten a guy like James. Let's say they get James Young, who the Celtics used to pick on. Okay, to me, yeah, he's a shooter. Markel Brown, you might be sitting there thinking, yeah, but he's not as athletic and as good of a defender as Markel Brown is, but he's a better shooter, I would say, than Markel Brown, James Young. Or with me, the guy that I would have picked or even tried to work a trade to get better players, you could have taken Tyler Ennis, who could have helped out the Nets. You could have taken Gary Harris, who could have helped out the Nets. Or you could have tried to trade. Shabazz Napier to me went way too low. Should have went higher. You could have taken Shabazz Napier. I feel like, yeah, you got to back up to D. Williams. Corey Jefferson's going to be an improvement. You only got Markel Brown for cash. And I mean, yeah, Nets fans, you might be sitting there going, yeah, but we didn't have any draft picks coming into this draft. But you had to give up more money just to get these draft picks. If you would have just hung on to your 17th overall pick, well, what turned into the 17th overall pick, you could have got someone that might have been way better than Markel Brown. That's why I'm giving it a D plus, because due to a trade that was terrible for the Brooklyn Nets to make, they dug themselves a hole that they had to pay to get out of and give cash to the Timberwolves, the Raptors, and the 76ers. So I'm giving them a D plus. That's my grade for the Brooklyn Nets. As always, I want you guys, tell me what you think down below. Am I too harsh on the Nets? Do you like their draft picks? What do you think about their draft picks? What would you give the Brooklyn Nets for a grade in the 2014 NBA draft? And as always, hit that subscribe button, that like button, all that good stuff. And as always, have a good day, everybody.